We're here to define what a man is, right?
Responsibility creates struggle, struggle creates strength, and strength creates structure.
How many people care about what people think about them? Be honest.
As a man, you got to be able to protect not just yourself, but your family.
When we talk about being a man, it's your behaviors.
But I don't say any of this to brag. I don't say any of this to gloat my life up or I'm better than anybody.
I start crying. I'm like, why am I crying? And so what I realized was,
you put yourself in a target-rich environment. You are the only woman that paid for a ticket to come to this event.
if you're trying to teach your daughter to be around a certain man and you're not that man yourself, she gonna choose you.
Hey, let me not touch this nigga. He too clean. Where is that on you?
It's not on me.
It's not on you. The only reason why it's not on you is because you didn't choose it.
Find the women who can actually help you build. And here's some deep game for you. You don't have to have sex with all of them.
Since 2016, I've been following Lucario and Miles. Y'all changed my life. Followed by Uncle Ram. So ever since then, I've been getting a little bit of too much ass at times.
You know, as a man, there's a balance to it. Your purpose and pussy. And the heavier your purpose.
Even if you lose the relationship, you don't lose yourself. And that's the most important part.
Click the link below and get your tickets to the Game Kings 2, The Definition of a Man seminar in Las Vegas, Nevada, Labor Day weekend, September 3rd, featuring Boss Mac Topsoil, Steve the Dean Williams, Mr. 1950, Afi Kingdom, King Dre, and hosted by Miles Cunningham and yours truly, Mr. Lucario, the bad boy of the dating game. So make sure you click the link below to get your tickets today. Still ain't getting women? Really? Come on, son. You need to go to badboymembership.com and step up your game. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Lucario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I'm telling you that if you really want to attract beautiful women, you need to go to badboymembership.com. This is where you get 45 through 90-minute step-by-step dating advice tutorials every month. Just sign up, follow the advice, and you'll get the women you want. Go to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com. It's your boy, Mr. Lucario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I want to tell you about my documentary, Game Kings, The Definition of Game, starring myself, the Boss Mac Topsoil, Rosebud, Ron Wills, Miles Cunningham, and much more. In this documentary, you're going to learn about confidence, manhood, attracting women, and the definition of the game. To get this documentary, go to MrLucario.com.
Some people think you need a sports car to get what you want. Some people think you need $1 million. Some people think you need looks, status. The only thing you need is what they can't get unless they come straight to you. And that's your identity. Join the Masculine Identity membership today. MasculineIdentityMembership.com. Masculine Identity Soap. This luxurious, quality, high lather, high moisturizing, all natural bar soap has been handcrafted with care and consistency to provide a quality cleansing experience for self-care, focus, and productivity. Specially formulated for cold showers. Stay clean, gentlemen. Masculine Identity Soap.
What up? What's poppin'? What's good? What's good? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the motherfucking dating game. What's going on? So today is going to be a game-filled show, free game. This is some stuff that, bad boy membership level stuff I'm going to be talking about, but, I'm not going to go crazy on it because you guys need to still get on the bad boy membership. Go to badboymembership.com to step up your game where you get 45 to 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month. Also go to masculineidentitymembership.com so you can step up your game to understand who you really are and what you're really about so you can make shit happen. And make sure you guys click that link below the video to get tickets to the Game Kings 2 seminar happening in Vegas. If you're watching the rebroadcast, it's going to be right below the video. You feel what I'm saying? So we're going to get into all of that in a second. But let me shout out to everybody real quick. And it's going to be a short show, maybe like an hour, less than an hour, because, I gotta run around and do some things. But I wanted to drop some heavy game on y'all today. But shout out to Monogamous Player. Shout out to Mike Larry. Shout out to my lovely lady, April MC in the building. Shout out to D's Nuts Pause. Shout out to Davey Dude. What's good? Shout out to Joe Blast in the motherfucking building. What's going on? Shout out to AT in the chat. Steve O Baby. O Millie was popping. J Bone in the building. Hakeem is up in here. Renee P is up in here. Shout out to you. Shout out to K Son. What's good? Shout out to who else we got up in here. Jadism was popping with you. Mr. Stand On It was good. So today's show, I'm gonna tell you guys 3 things that make women want to sleep with you on the first date. 3 things that you can do to make this happen, right? And this is actually really simple, and it's funny because a lot of times guys make the game harder for themselves, and you want to make shit happen, but you don't know how. So I'm going to be telling you how to do this. Now, first I want to say this. Remember, if you just want sex from a woman, you do not need to go on any dates. I'm going to say that again. If you want sex from a woman, you do not need to go on any dates. I'm going to say it one more time. If you just want sex from a woman, you do not need to go on any dates. You feel what I'm saying? You don't need to go on any dates, right? Now, what I'm saying here, though, is that if you are going on a date with a woman, right, and you're, trying to feel her out and see what's popping with the chick, right? And then on the date, you recognize, you say, damn, she kind of bad. I would smash. Like, hell yeah, I'm really trying to make this happen, right? So then at that point, what happens is that you can actually, make it go down. You feel what I'm saying? Because sometimes what happens is this, right? You can just get a girl to come, let's say, for example, on an online dating site straight to your crib, right? But if you're like myself, right, I like to actually go out and do shit first, feel out the situation. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you meet a good girl online, I want to see how she looks. You understand? In person before, we even get down to making shit happen, stuff like that, right? And then also sometimes what'll happen is that you may be in a situation where even though you want to hook up with a girl and have sex with her, you might be the type of guy that's like, let's say, for example, you might want a girlfriend at some point. You might want to be consistent with having an interaction with a woman. And sometimes what'll happen is that when you just, for example, get on your app, FaceTime a girl, get her straight to the crib, and y'all just have sex. A lot of times those just turn into one night stands and all that other stuff, right? And you might want something more, or you might want to keep seeing her and it just fizzles out quickly because they just started out just fucking that straight away, right? But usually what happens is if you go on a date with a chick, if you meet a chick outside, you go to this spot or that spot or whatever it is, and y'all interact with each other, go back and forth a little bit. And even if you have sex on the first date, because you and her met in a way where y'all actually sort of like went back and forth a little bit, that woman is more likely to return for seconds, thirds, fourths, and fifths and continue to make shit happen. So what you got to understand is a lot of times when a woman just comes to your crib straight away, right? A lot of times she just wants the dick, right? And usually if that's all she wanted, then you might not hear from her again. Or she gets the dick and then she feels some type of way because she's like, damn, well, I just fucked this dude I just met and I just went straight to his house. It was good, but now I don't think I want to see him again because I might be a little bit embarrassed. So I'm just going to, sit like keep it pushing. But if you go on that one date, sometimes what'll happen is because y'all were able to converse, interact with each other a little bit, right? Then you're able to make things happen more down the line, even if you have sex on that first date. You feel what I'm saying? Now, let's jump into this thing. So I'm going to be talking about 3 things that make women want to sleep with you on the first date. Because sometimes what happens is you may be on a first date with a chick, you want to sleep with her, you want to hook up with her, but you do things and say things that make the woman, even though she was probably thinking about it, make her say, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So what I want you guys to do is I want you to make it easier on yourself to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I want you guys to make it easier so that you can get this shit cracking. Now, first thing that you can do to make a woman want to sleep with you on the first date, right, is you want to prepare beforehand, okay? You want to prepare beforehand. Now, what does that mean to prepare beforehand? What that means is that you want to prepare the woman to know and to understand that sex might happen, okay? You want to prepare the woman to know and understand that sex might happen, right? So what does that mean, Mr. Lucario? So that means that the interaction you have with the woman before the date, right? She should understand that you might be interested in having sex with her. So how do you do that? So let's talk about online dating for a second, because a lot of people is doing online dating, right? So with online dating, for example, and make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com, because on badboymembership.com, we have a bunch of programs on online dating. This one right here is called Advanced Online Game, the most efficient way to get women to meet you in person. This one is called How to Take Pictures That'll Get You Laid on Online Dating Sites. And I'm going to be talking about some of this stuff in there. And this one is called How to Send Messages That'll Get You Laid on Online Dating Apps. So make sure that you guys go to the Bad Boy membership, because I get way more in depth about that and how to do this, right? So when you're talking about preparing beforehand, let's say we're talking about an online dating site, right? What you need to do, for example, on your profile, is on your profile, it should already say something to the effect of casual sex, hooking up, stuff like that. Right? It should say something about that. Now, I always talk about how you don't necessarily want to put looking for a hookup, looking for casual sex on your bio, right? You want to say that, but in different words, right? So for example, let's say on your bio, right, it says something about you, like maybe a little something about what you do, whatever, like, you might say I'm a musician, so-and-so, so forth, right? And then below that, this is something that you would say to indicate that you're interested in getting sexual with the woman that you will see in some form or fashion on a date, right? So in your bio, right, it would say something to the effect of, looking for a very interesting woman to have intimate times with and get her dripping wet in the bedroom, right? I'm just spitballing here. But basically I'm saying, let's have some sex, let's fuck, right? So what happens is that when the woman actually, goes and she sees your profile, right? She looks at your pictures, and your pictures also should basically be showing you as the type of guy that looks like he wants to fuck. So there's a reason why, for example, on this, program, there's a picture of me in the tank top, looking like I'm about to fuck the shit out the chick. You understand? Trying to be on some sexy shit, right? So you have some pictures that indicate that you're the type of guy who is sexually attractive, sexually appealing in some form or fashion. If you have a nice body, show off your body. If you don't, then you can just make sure you dress in something nice, like a suit or button-down shirts that make you look smooth and presentable, right? So she sees your pictures, and then your pictures match what you're saying in the bio. Right? So exactly, enjoy life. Everything is congruent, right? So now she sees your pictures. She sees in your bio, you're saying stuff about sex, right? So then she matches with you based on, right, understanding that you are already talking about sex. You understand? So I'm going to say that again. She is matching with you with the understanding that you are talking about having sex. So that's already out there. So basically saying, look, so basically what you're saying is if you're matching with me, you're matching with me under the understanding that this will be some sexual thing at some point in the near future, sooner than later. You understand? Now, what happens sometimes is this, is that because you have that on your bio, you will have sometimes women will message you first and she's actually talking about what you said in your bio. So, for example, like the example I left where I said, looking for an interesting woman to have intimate times with and get her dripping wet in the bedroom, right? So a woman might match with you and she might say in her message, like she might hit you up first and say, hey, what's up? I'm interested in this whole intimate thing in the bedroom thing or whatever. Like she'll mention what you said in the bio, right? That'll happen sometimes, right? Or what'll happen is she'll match with you, but she won't send a message and you'll send a message first, right? But either way, she's matching with you based off of that. So this is what I'm saying by preparing beforehand. So before y'all even get on the date, the woman is already in that frame of mind of you being someone she could get sexual with because you've already set it up on your profile, right? Now, when you are setting up the date, this is what you have to say. Okay. See, I'm giving y'all a lot of game today. So just, you know what I'm saying? Hit that, donate at the top for, the Cash App, because the game is about to be heavy today. Okay. And again, if you want more detailed game, make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com. Okay. Make sure you take your ass to badboymembership.com. Right? So now the girl sees on your bio that you're saying something about sex. And remember, make it colorful. Don't just be like, I'm trying to hook up, I'm trying to have sex, I'm trying to fuck. Like, you want it to be colorful language. And I talk more about that on the Bad Boy Membership, right? So now what happens is this is the way you set up the date. So let's say, for example, the girl hits you up first mentioning that sexual shit you said, right? Then what you would say is, like, let's say she's like, oh, I'm interested in, that intimate stuff you were talking about, right? So you say, well, listen, how about we do this? Let's meet for a drink and see how the vibe is between us. And if things are right, then I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about on my profile, right? So basically what you're saying is, let's meet up. And if the vibe is right, which is the important part, then you can get the D, right? Or you can say it like, hey, let's meet up for a drink. And if you play your cards right, you can get the D. So you're not offering her the D. You're saying, listen, come through and we'll see how it goes, right? Because remember, when you're on the first date, right, you're just feeling the chick out. You might not even like this chick. She might not look like her pictures or whatever it is like that, or, in that situation, right? And sometimes, you could do a FaceTime and shit. I don't really recommend doing all that extra FaceTime shit unless you bringing her straight to the crib. But, you meet up with the girl, you feel her out or whatever it is like that. And then if she's up to par, then you give her the D. But what happens is that what'll make her want to sleep with you on that first date is because what you're saying to her, right, is let's meet up and then we might fuck. And then so her response to that, if she's down to see you, right, then she's confirming to see you on the date with the situation leading itself to y'all probably having sex. So this is why I say by prepare beforehand. Now, let's say the girl doesn't message you first and you message her first, right? So what you can do is that you hit her up and you say, hey, me and you should get together and get a drink this weekend. And if you play your cards right, you can get this D. Basically the same thing. Hey, me and you should get together this weekend. When are you free? We should get a drink. And if the vibe is right, I'm going to take them clothes off and get real intimate with you. Whatever the fuck you want to say, right? So then her responding to that, and she's like, oh, I'm free Saturday. Okay, cool. Meet me at the Main Street Bar, 8 o'clock Saturday. So she's coming to the date and interacting with you off the premise that y'all might have sex. Get it? Right? Now, you can do the same thing when you meet a girl on the street, at the bar, at the club, and y'all exchange information, or you give her your number, and then she hits you up or you hit her up. Same thing. Yo, when are you free to get together and get a drink? And then she's like, oh, I'm free this day or whatever. Cool. So listen, we're going to get this drink. And, if you play your cards right, you're going to get this D. But also, if you meet the chick in person, that's something you should have already talked about before you even got the number, right? So you interact with her, you flirt with her, you let her know your intentions of what you want to do. And you say, hey, yeah, next time we get together, we probably get a drink or something like that. And, if you cool, I might let you see me naked. You know what I'm saying? I might let you get some of this shit you're trying to get to. Right. And so all you're seeing basically in those situations is her response to you being sexual and actually letting you know that she's interested. You see what I'm saying? So, guys, this is real simple. When you prepare beforehand, right? What it is that you've established that sex might happen, and she's agreeing to come to see you with the understanding that sex might happen. You see what I'm saying? And also, you're letting her know that sex might happen on your terms. See, whereas a lot of guys, when they enter a situation with a woman, they're hoping sex will happen, and it's usually on the woman's terms. You see what I'm saying? This is why niggas, on the internet are always talking about how women are the gatekeepers of sex. You understand? Well, the women are the gatekeepers of sex, really. Okay. Right? So that's number one right there. So number one is prepare beforehand. Right? Now, let's get into the second way that you can, make women want to sleep with you on the first date. Now, let's say that you don't prepare beforehand. Let's just say you meet a chick for a first date and, she's just meeting up with you somewhere for a drink. Right? Now, the next thing that you got to do is this. It's very important. The next thing you got to do is you have to test her comfortability talking about sex. Right? So you're going to test her comfortability when it comes to talking about sex. So what does this mean? So this means that when you're out on this date with this girl, right? You're going to have some form of small talk, especially at the beginning, right? You meet a girl at the bar, you tell her to meet you at this spot or whatever, right? She comes in, you give each other a hug, right? And of course, make sure you guys are sitting not across from each other, but next to each other, right? And I'll talk about that in a little while, right? And so what happens is that you're going to have a little bit of, small talk. Hey, how's your day going? How's everything been? How was work? Whatever the fuck. Regular small talk, right? Now, and what I'm about to tell you, I talk about this on the Bad Boy membership. Now, what happens is that at some point in the conversation, you have to transition from small talk to flirting and building sexual tension, right? So you have to transition from small talk to flirting and building sexual tension. Now, there's two main ways that you can do this simply, right? Because a lot of guys, they'll talk and make it platonic the whole fucking time. They don't know how to start flirting with a woman and all this other stuff, right? So two main ways to transition into flirting and building sexual tension. One, and this is the more difficult way, is you smoothly transition into talking about or into flirting and building sexual tension by making connections within the conversation. So that's the first way. You smoothly transition into flirting and building sexual tension by making connections within the conversation. Now, that's the more difficult way for most guys. The second way to transition into flirting and building sexual tension is you do a break in the conversation. You do a break in the conversation. I'm going to explain both. All right. I'm telling you, y'all get some free game today. Hit that fucking donate. Because I'm giving away the game for free. Hit that donate button. Donate $5 up for this game. Right? So, how do you do this? So the way that you smoothly transition by connecting, the conversation, talking points or whatever, into flirting and all that, right? Is you have to be very, very, aware of what's being said in the conversation. And what you do is you use what she says in the conversation to smoothly transition, right? But you have to be very clever, and because this is a little bit more advanced, you understand, for guys who, for guys who are new at going out here and doing this, this might be a little bit more advanced for you, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because this takes a lot of paying attention, listening very closely, but also being very clever, right? So when you smoothly transition by connecting the conversation, right? What you do is that you're looking for any conversation thread that you are having to be able to flip it and turn it sexual. But what you do is that it seamlessly goes into the conversation. So it doesn't even seem like you're trying to do anything. It just seamlessly goes into the conversation. And then before you know it, you and her are flirting and talking about sex. Right? So, for example, right? Let's say you are having just regular small talk with a woman, right? And, excuse me, you're having small talk with a woman, she's at the bar with you. She met you at the bar. Y'all sitting there, you have a drink or whatever, right? And let's say y'all are just having, just regular conversation. How's your day? Oh, what do you do for a living? What do you like to do for hobbies and all that other stuff? What do you usually do on the weekend? Right? So let's say she says, oh, I usually on the weekends, I have this routine where I go to the gym, and then right after the gym, I go, there's this coffee shop around my way that I always get my coffee. Right? And then you say, oh, you like coffee? And then she says, yeah, I love coffee. And then you say, well, I bet you like it black, don't you? Now, I'm saying this because I'm a black guy, right? So I say, I bet you like it black, don't you? And then she's like, yeah, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, I know you like it black. And then she starts, giggling and shit, right? So now that's me smoothly transitioning into flirting, building sexual tension, right? So after I'm saying that, I'm like, yeah, I know you like it black because, that's why you with me right now. That's why you wanted to come see me. I could tell, right? And then so from that point on, I can continue to flirting and building sexual tension. I can make it even more, like blatant. You understand what I'm saying? I can flirt a little more, right? So that's just a simple way of doing it. Now, that's how you do it when you're using what she's saying in the conversation in order to, transition it into something sexual. Right? Now, if you're really clever, you can use anything that she's saying and try to flip it and turn it into something flirtatious or sexual. Right? And then sometimes what happens is that you can use how she's moving in the situation, the way she's looking at you, all those things. You can use that to transition into saying something flirtatious. But see, this comes with practice. This is why I tell you guys, you got to go out there, talk to women, interact with women. Right? Because what you want to do is you want to transition from the regular small talk into flirting. Right? Now, also what you got to understand is that when you're transitioning from regular small talk to flirting, you want to do this fairly quickly. Like I would say within the first 10 minutes of you on the date. You know what I'm saying? You want to start getting to that flirtatious talk. Right? Now, the other thing I was talking about when it comes to the flirtatious talk is a break in the conversation. A break in the conversation. So what does that mean? That means that you're having small talk or you're talking about some regular stuff or whatever. And what you do is that you instantly interrupt her while she's speaking, or you just automatically just start talking about another topic that quickly. So basically, you're switching topics just abruptly. And the topic that you're switching to is something flirtatious or sexual. Now, this is a little bit easier for guys to do because you're just breaking the conversation. You don't have to think about how to connect anything, right? So let's say, for example, you ask the girl something regular, like again, oh, so what do you like to do on the weekends for fun or whatever, right? And then she says, oh, I actually like to go to the gym a lot. And then, sometimes after the gym, I go get some coffee. And then, usually on the weekends at nights, I sometimes hang out with my friends. So, and she's just telling you all this stuff, right? So what happens is while she's talking, let's say she's like, oh yeah, I like to go to the gym. And then I like to do coffee. And while she's talking, you say, hold on. Wait a second. This is weird, but this whole time you were talking, I didn't even hear what you were saying because I just couldn't keep my eyes off your lips. Like your lips look really soft. So you see how I'm breaking the conversation and making it her lips being soft ain't got really necessarily shit to do with what she's saying, but I'm breaking the conversation to inject flirtatious conversation. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is that when you do this, you're introducing flirtatious conversation. You're introducing a way to start flirting and build sexual tension. Right? So let's say, for example, again, like let's say the girl's talking, and then you just out of the blue, right? You just fucking like pop up with something. She's talking, and you say, wait a second, you know what just popped in my head? I don't know why this popped in my head, but we're on a date and most people, they date, and I've heard a lot of people have one night stands. Have you ever had a one night stand? Right? So you're just starting to talk about that now. You see what I'm saying? So you break the conversation and then you inject something else that could lead to flirtatious conversation and, sexual undertones. 412 is popping. Who's this?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Carr? This is AT calling, and I definitely donate.
What's going on, fam?
All right.
What's popping with you? What's going on?
All right, man. Saw the topic and definitely wanted to call in because especially with something that, heard from you like a long time ago as far as when you're saying, kind of get sexual quickly with the woman or whatnot. Now, as far as like what I've done and learned it from you is I use like a phone call, after we match online, exchange numbers. I'll actually get on the phone with them, like say, hey, how's it going? So we could kind of get a feel or vibe for each other.
Right.
Set the date that way, but then also, like you said, throw sex into the equation because they'll be like, oh, what are you trying to do? It's like,
right.
You know what I'm really trying to do, bring you back to my crib and have my way with you.
Right.
Most of the time they'll be like, oh, I'm not ready for that yet. But at least they know when we go on a date what the deal is, to meet for a drink and whatnot.
Right.
I guess recommend that because I know you said don't FaceTime or you don't recommend that.
Right. So what I'm saying is this, if you're trying to bring them to straight, like if you aren't going on a date, like if you don't want to go on a date, but you want to hook up with them, then you can do FaceTime. You know what I'm saying? Like you do FaceTime, have them come over. right? Now, if you are going to get drinks with them, you don't necessarily need to do FaceTime. You can if you want, but you don't necessarily need it, because that's you're at that point you're doing more than you need to do. So a lot of times when I teach you guys, the simplest way to get from point A to point B without having to do any extra work. And so a lot of times if you're like, okay, you set up a date and then the girl's like, oh, let's FaceTime, and you're just doing extra work that you don't need to do. You see what I'm saying? And so the thing is that I try to eliminate the extra work and just do what you need to do to get from point A to point B. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Most times, like now, even though I'm still just trying to do casual, I do the phone call because, like, one, I want to see if, kind of get a feel for them. Are they crazy, or they got something going on? And I don't want to just invite somebody that's got something going on into my house.
Right. Right.
So at least, invite them out for a drink, like one drink first to see what's good, and then go from there. So as far as that seemed to work. Now, what I run into, of course, is ladies that say they're okay with it at first, and like on the date or afterwards, like, I thought about it and I'm not really looking for casual. I thought I was. And, then they change your mind. So in that instance, or they want to see you further, what do you do?
Right. So you're saying if they say they're not interested in the casual thing once they're on a date?
Or like hooking up right away, but they want to, go out again, or like, well, maybe we could see each other again and then see what happens.
Right. So, okay. So this is the thing. When you set up the date, do you also include that you might want to do something casual with her?
Yes.
Okay. And then she agrees.
Yes.
Okay. So now at that point, don't see her again until she's interested in doing something, until she's interested in hooking up. Because at that point, if you say to her on that first date, we met, but also the key thing is that when you say you want something casual with her, don't say it as if you're 100% going to or want to yet.
Okay, got
so
it.
Right. So that's the difference I would say. So you should say, like I said earlier, say, hey, listen, if the vibe is cool, then maybe we could do this. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because what happens is this, right? Is that one, you, like you said, you want to make sure a chick ain't on some bullshit. You understand? Because you ain't gonna be fucking with no girl who's crazy or insane. And so to say to her, hey, come through, we're gonna do it, and then not do it, that's you like basically like not doing what you said you was gonna do. And so you don't ever want to tell a woman this is gonna happen if it's not. But what you can say is this might happen. So if she is cool, then we can make it go down, right? But then what happens is that if you notice she is cool, but she's still like, oh, actually, I don't, blah, 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 blah. You say, hey, listen, no problem. But look, I'm interested in doing this with you. So when you're interested in doing that with me, just give me a call. And that's it.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
And then, so what do you think it is with women that also, okay, like if you, like you said, talk about being sexual, they're saying, oh, I don't know, maybe not on the, first date. And then you go meet them and then you're out and everything is cool. And you're like, hey, do you want to come back to my place? And they're like, oh, yeah. And it goes down. Is that what they wanted anyway? And they're just trying to have plausible deniability?
Yeah, well, sometimes it's because at first it's not necessarily that they wanted it to happen, but when they got into the situation, they changed their mind. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I'll fuck with this guy. You understand? Like that, they changed their mind at that point. Or like you said, it could be a situation where she's saying it because, it's something that she can say so she can not seem like that type of chick, but she's only saying that in the sense of she doesn't see you as that type of guy she would have did it quickly with anyway. Because what happens is when a woman actually wants to do it quickly, usually she just goes along with it because she wants it, right? When a woman is kind of iffy, that's when she gives you the, oh, I don't know, let's see, I gotta get to know you a little bit. I'm not really trying. That's where all that other extra shit comes in. You see what I'm saying? So when she really wants to do it, all you need to do is present it so you can give her the opportunity to get the D, right? And then she follows through. But if she's kind of like iffy about it, that's where all of that stuff comes in. So a lot of times what happens is this, right? Is that and this is why I said, like, when the way that you're wording it is important, because what you do is that you allow her to understand that she's not like, I haven't really made a decision if I'm going to fuck you or not yet. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it might happen because because this is the thing. It's okay to let a chick know that you want to smash. But a lot of times what happens is that if she's one of those girls who's kind of like iffy, right? She thinks that she has the leverage because she's like, oh, I know he wants to fuck me, but I'm going to see if I can get him to do what I want without fucking him. You see what I'm saying? But let's say this is a girl who is iffy, right? And you say, listen, yeah, we could get together and if you play cards right, and the vibe is cool, I might, we could do this, right? In that situation, sometimes what happens is the fact that you are not letting her feel like, oh, it's a done deal, like you want it, then she second guesses and say, well, wait a second, this guy, I wasn't really thinking about fucking him, but then he's the one saying he don't know if he's trying to fuck me. You feel what I'm saying? So now her perception of you could change, which in turn will make her want to fuck you more. You understand what I'm saying? So that also can happen too. And then there's times where when that goes down, she feels like, oh, okay, cool. He doesn't want to fuck me. And I wasn't necessarily thinking about fucking him. So I'll come on the date. And then what happens is that when you're feeling her out and then she sees that you're a cool motherfucker, her mind might change about making it happen. You see what I'm saying? Right. So it's that type of thing. But once you've made a decision though, on the date that you are interested in it, don't go back on it by taking her out more. So for example, if you hit the girl up on the app, you say, listen, if the vibe is right, when we meet up, we might hook up and have some fun. She says, cool, I'm gonna come through, right? And then what happens is you on a date with her, and you say, you know what, you kind of cool. Like you're pretty cooler than I expected. So I'm thinking me and you need to get out of here and go back to my place right now. What if she says, oh, well, actually, I don't really know. I'm not too sure about that because blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, no problem. Well, listen, you have my number. When you're ready to get it in, just give me a call. Right. So don't go on no other dates with her. Don't do no other shit because you already told her what you're trying to do. So at that point, she already knows what it is. So now she has to comply with that or she can't get no other attention from you. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And then get one last question if I can, and I'll jump off. So like I have a date actually set up with a woman tonight where we talked on the phone, online, and then even talked on the phone.
Right.
And she was like, oh, what are you thinking about doing? And I was like, well, if you really want to know what I'm thinking about doing, I was like, having you come back to my place. And she was like, oh, well, I'm not ready for all that yet. So it's like, okay, I got you. So we're going to meet out for a drink. So I guess it's like you said, to kind of play it out the way you were. Right.
So what you do is when you're talking to the women, you say you can let them know that that it might happen. Right. So I would say switch it to, from, hey, yeah, I'm trying, because when she's like, oh, what are we going to do? And you instead of saying, yeah, or what do you think are we going to do? Oh, come to my place. Instead of saying that, say, hey, listen, we're going to meet up, get a drink. And if the vibe is cool, then I might take you back to my place. Right now, if she still says, well, actually, I'm not really trying to do all of that. Oh, no problem. Well, listen, we ain't got to meet. You have a good night. If you change your mind, hit me up. You see what I'm saying? Oh, right. That's it. Okay. So, right. Because what happens is that, see, this is the thing. What you don't want to happen is you don't want to let a woman know what your plan is. And she's essentially saying, I'm not down for your plan. And then you still meet her because you're finished. So essentially you're basically, even if you don't want to, you're going to have to charge her in that sense, because there's no point after that. Because if you go based on her rejecting your plan, then essentially you're going on her terms. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Right.
You see what I mean? Now, so what happened with this girl? So now you told her, hey, come back to my, she's like, she ain't down for all that.
She's like, oh, I'm not ready for that just yet.
Okay. And what'd you say to her after that?
I was like, all right, you know, that's cool, because like we were going to meet for a drink. I was like, well, you know, we could still meet up and you know, see if the vibe is right, and plus I need to see if you're crazy or not.
Right, got you. Yeah, so yeah, still see her either way at this point, because you know you already set it up, you already did that. But at the same time, if you're in a situation with this woman, still flirt with her, still try to build sexual tension, and then at this point, if she's still not trying to, like, if she hasn't changed her mind and is not trying to do it, then you say, hey, look, you know, you got my number. When you're ready to make it happen, just hit me up.
Okay, right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then you're right. And then the second part I was going to ask you is that, so I have a date set up with a woman Friday. You know, matched online, everything. She saw I was looking for casual. She was like, oh, you know, I'm not sure about that. Like, I think I want something more. But then she kept talking to me, and I was just like, look, you know, would you be okay with casual or not? You know, because I don't want to waste your time and have you waste mine. And she was like, you know, I might be down for that or whatnot. So we're going to meet for a drink. Now, in that situation, should I go, not go? Because if she said might be, that could be a whole thing where she just wastes my time.
Right. And so what I would say for future reference, like I said, for future reference, just let the women know that we're going to meet up and that we might do this.
Okay.
So that she can confirm that. So you say, hey, look, we you know, this is what I want to do. I want us to meet up for a drink. We're going to chill. We're going to talk. And if the vibe is cool, then I might take you back to my place. Can you meet at 8:00 on Saturday? Right. And then she says, oh, yeah, I can meet. Right. So then now she's meeting under that premise. You see what I'm saying? Gotcha. Right. So you set the premise so that all she has to do is comply with the premise. You don't even have to like go back and forth with her. You just say, this is what I want to do. And can you meet? And if she says yes, then she's saying yes to meeting under what you just said. You see what I mean? So that's how you could, you know, you could basically get it a little bit easier in that sense.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right.
Well, man, I definitely, as always, you know, appreciate the time and information.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. I'm gonna let you, man.
All right.
All right. Peace. All right. I think monogamous player. What's going on, fam?
Yes, sir. What's up, Mr. Lucario? You already know that I donated.
All right. That's what's up. All right. We got to make it quick because I got to head out in like 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yes, sir. I got you. I guess it's only going to take about 5 minutes. But I just want to get back to the first point that you dropped, because you actually dropped some heavy game. And I just want us to go back to the point that you said earlier. And I remember being young and being kind of confused on it. And I know a lot of young guys are not realizing this, right? But there's a difference between, because I know a lot of young guys, like, they just want to just, you know, hop on these apps, tell a girl to come through and, you know, and smash, which is nothing wrong with that, right? But a lot of times, because the sex is good or you enjoyed yourself with the girl, you start to expect a little more, or you want it to happen again. Right. But you don't realize that in actuality, it was just going to be that one time. Because in a girl's mind, that was just a booty call. Or, because I'm going to be honest, Mr. Lucario, it's been a lot of times, Mr. Lucario, in my life, but I ain't going to say a lot of times, but it's been a few times in my life where I didn't smash a girl once and the sex was awesome, right? But it was just that one time. Right. But because of that one time, that's what you said, the girl might be embarrassed, or the girl might just look. Some girls really just want to smash you one time. Right.
That's a fact.
You see what I'm saying?
That's real shit.
So as I say, if you're not like out here like dating, like yeah, you'll be out here, you know, especially if you're playing a numbers game, you'll smash women, but it's gonna be a lot of burnout situations. But one thing about the date, like that first, like, you know, and guess what? It don't even take that many dates. Just 1 or 2 dates, which I personally prefer dates, because, you know, I got to a point in my life to where I kind of wanted more than just some quick sex. I actually wanted to get to know a woman, to get more out of a woman, right? But when you go on a date, right, you're allowing the woman to feel like she really know you in a sense, so she's more comfortable. Right. So now it went from this one time thing to now a potential casual thing where it can continue to happen. Right. You see what I'm saying? So like, yeah, of course, y'all was going to eventually have sex, but the difference of you just smashing versus you going on a date with a girl is, if you just smash, it might have just been 1 or 2 times and fizzled out. Exactly. If you go on a date with a girl 1 or 2 times, it might be a 4-month situation.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. That's
or
a
whatever
fact.
the case may be. So, it's just some games for young guys. Like, there's nothing wrong with going. Actually, you should want to go on a first date because you should want to interview a chick because just because you smash a chick don't mean that you compatible with her.
Right.
Or you compatible with her sexually within that moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of stuff fizzled out because when you just have sex with people, you having sex with people that you might not even be compatible with.
Exactly.
So that's
real
thing.
shit.
You see what I'm saying?
Real shit.
So just being out here, just dating and just fizzling out women, and also another thing that I like about dating, Miss Lucario, or when I was just out here going on dates, is you allow yourself to build up that sexual compatibility with the woman because you seducing her. You see what I'm saying? You spit in that game.
Right.
And another thing is when you spit that game, because I like what you said, Mr. Lucario. Another thing is too is you got to be a guy that generally you have a good conversation. You're not talking about lame stuff. You're talking about relatable, relative things.
Right.
That y'all can really talk about. You see what I'm saying? But even when you make that transition, right, you have to build up a fantasy in a woman's mind to where she realizes that she can only get it from you. But at the same time, you got to be on some take it or leave it shit.
Right.
You can't be thirsty. So you got to, it's more like an offer.
Right.
So I'm offering you this opportunity. Because I ain't gonna lie, it's some girls that might not bite on the first offer. But because you was real and you was honest, they might come back later down the line. You see what I'm saying? But that's how you do that. You see what I'm saying? Like you set it up and you build that sexual energy and then you create that offer. So even when I used to, do the same thing, Mr. Lucario, I used to have a really good conversation with a woman. And guess what, Mr. Lucario? I would time it in my mind because I already know that I was going to switch up the conversation.
Right.
I'm just building up the woman because I just know how to have a good conversation. Then all of a sudden I'm saying, damn, baby, I ain't gonna lie. You got some big ass thighs.
Exactly.
Damn,
Exactly. That's like, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
You see
That's
what I'm
real
saying?
shit.
Because she liked my conversation already, she's probably more susceptible, you know what I'm saying, or more engaging with me switching it up.
That's a good point.
And not knowing how to switch it up. You see
That's
what I'm saying?
a good
What's your
point.
take on that, Mr.
No,
Lucario?
that's a good point because like the fact that she's already engaged in a conversation with you and you're able to smoothly just do what you do, it's seamless. This is why I tell guys they got to go out there and practice and have conversations and interact because you'll start to see how seamless the flow of it is. And that's the thing that dudes don't get is that if you see a lot of times guys aren't able to create that connection where a woman is sexually attracted or turned on or whatever it is because they don't know they don't know how to lead and guide a conversation in a way to where you take the woman on a fucking roller coaster so where she's having that experience that makes her want, she's like, damn, I'm really, really feeling this guy. Because the thing is this, what makes a woman feel you is the connection she feels when y'all are interacting with each other. And so what happens is that if you're having a conversation and she's enjoying the conversation with you, and then you're going back and forth with her, and then you start flirting and building that sexual tension, it all flows seamlessly. You understand what I'm saying? And then so she's enjoying all of that conversation with you. And then therefore she's more receptive to you flirting and building that sexual tension. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what, look,
that's what it is.
Lucario, you really just said a great point. A lot of guys, they're not successful with women because women don't enjoy them.
Right.
You have to be a type of guy that you are lovable and you are enjoyable. So when you're enjoyable, guess what? All that, I'm gonna be celibate and I'm gonna have all that shit go out the window because, as what you said, the enjoyment overrides all that bullshit. That if she didn't enjoy you, it wouldn't override that. You see what I'm saying? But I know you got to go, Mr. Lucario, man. Thank you for the opportunity. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the call, my brother. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna tell you the last one because we on number 3 now, right? You're on number 3. I'm gonna tell you the last joint of how to make women want to sleep with you on the first date. Now, this is real simple, and this is something that you need to start doing more, right? On your first dates, right? On your first dates, do one of these 2 types of things, 2 types of dates only. Either get drinks or get coffee. That is it. Get drinks or coffee. That is it. You understand? Now, when you're getting drinks or getting coffee, make sure that you are at a place where you and her can sit next to each other and not face to face from each other. You have to be sitting, like she has to be sitting right here, not in front of you. You understand what I'm saying? Right here. You understand? So either drinks or coffee. That is it. Do not go on fucking dinner dates. Don't go play miniature golf. You understand what I'm saying? Don't go get ice cream. You understand? Don't fucking take walks in the park. Now again, I'm talking about if you're in a situation where you want to try see if first date sex can happen, coffee or drinks only. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't go to the movies. Don't go to the museum. None of that shit. You understand? Coffee or drinks. Now, the reason why I say coffee and drinks is because those two activities and where those activities are lend itself, and sometimes drinks is way better than coffee. You understand? But I would say drinks first, coffee second. But what happens is that it lends itself to where it's easier to flirt and build sexual tension in those situations in order to see how receptive she is to your flirting and building sexual tension. You understand? Now, if you're not worried about fucking a girl on the first date, yeah, go get the ice cream, go take the walk in the park, go do all that other shit. That's fine. But if you're sitting there, if what I'm saying is that if you are going on a date and you say, well, this chick seems like she might be the type of chick I want to smash by the end of the night, drinks, coffee. You understand what I'm saying? Drinks and coffee. You said, please explain why no ice cream. So the reason why I say no ice cream is because what happens is that you want to be in a situation where you can get the woman close to you so that you can flirt and build sexual tension. So if you guys get an ice cream and y'all walking outside somewhere, that's not conducive enough to you being able to flirt and build sexual tension, right? Because if you're getting drinks or getting coffee, you guys are sitting next to each other, let's say in a corner somewhere where y'all are in close proximity where guys can flirt and build that sexual tension. If you're getting ice cream, you're holding ice cream, she's holding ice cream, y'all eating the ice cream. You don't have time to flirt and touch and all. You understand what I'm saying? Because part of the flirting too is not just what you're saying. It's also the body language. It's also you touching the girl. You understand? It's also you bringing the girl closer into you. So you want to set up situations for that to happen. You see what I'm saying? And if you're fucking getting ice cream, that's not going to cut it. You understand what I'm saying? If you're getting dinner, that's not going to cut it. Usually when you're on a dinner date, you're face to face. You understand? So no dinner. You understand? No movies, because you're just sitting there in the dark room looking at the fucking movies. You're not able to, you're not able to converse. You understand? So that's the thing. Like drinks is probably the better situation, because usually you get drinks in the evening, right? You go to a bar or something like that where it's dimly lit and you guys are in a corner or wherever, going back and forth with each other. Now, you could also do this with coffee. Like you go to a coffee shop, the fact that you guys can sit next to each other, remember, sit next to each other, right? See, and even this, let's say, for example, you tell a girl to meet you somewhere. And let's say she gets there before you, right? And she's sitting in a place where you have to sit in front of her, right? What you want to do in most cases is you want to tell her to get up and we're going to sit over here. Or you pull your chair over so that you're sitting next to her. Or if you're there first and she comes in, and then let's say it's like a bench or whatever where she can sit in front of you, you say, no, come around and sit over here. Come sit around here. You understand? Make sure she's sitting next to you. Right? And so when you're having that conversation and interaction, you're able to do this with her next to you like this versus her across the table, because what you essentially want to happen is as you're conversing and you're flirting, building sexual tension, and then at that point, the words that you're saying, you might be touching her hand, you're bringing her closer into you, and then you end up kissing. But it's going to be hard to kiss the chick if she's across the fucking table. You understand? Costa said, why not a fun activity such as shooting pool or mini golf? How does that stop you from smashing after? No, what I'm saying is it's less likely that it's going to happen because you're not actually doing anything to build sexual tension. There's too many distractions. You see what I'm saying? So you're sitting there going back and forth, shooting the pool and shit, all that other extra shit, right? There's not enough time to, because this is what you got to understand. It's called building sexual tension. You understand? So you want to make sure that you are in a situation where the sexual tension can build, right? And if you're sitting there playing mini golf, half the time y'all are not close to each other. Y'all are separated. She's over here doing her little thing. You're over there doing your little thing. Y'all come together. Then it's like, bro, that's not, you know what I'm saying? You said, what about bubble tea, LaCroix? Similar? Well, yeah, if it's in that environment, then fine. You understand? Now, again, if you get ice cream and it's in an environment like an ice cream store where y'all can sit next to each other, fine. But what I'm saying is generally drinks, coffee, and leaning more to drinks. But sometimes you might be in a situation where you can't get drinks because you might, be meeting a chick in the daytime just because that's what time permits at the time. You understand? Like I've had dates with chicks, at fucking noon at a coffee shop. You feel what I'm saying? You said disagree. You can playfully tease in mini golf. Hey, listen, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. I'm just a dating coach that's been doing this for years. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly, Mr. Justin. Pool and mini golf are boyfriend activities. That's a fact. And that's another thing too, because you doing all this boyfriendy shit that lends itself to them not fucking you. Because you seem like, he's boyfriend material. This is great. Let me not fuck him now. You understand what I'm saying? But when you're getting a drink or having, coffee with each other or whatever, and you're in close proximity, you understand? You have time to put your arm around her, speak into her ear. You understand? Hold her hand. You understand? You're creating that sort of energy. So when you say, hey, let's get out of here and go back to my place, it's a smoother transition because she's already thinking about this because y'all are touching, at that point, kissing and all that other stuff. You see what I'm saying? But I'm about to get out of here in a second. Let me just see these questions real quick. Would it be smart idea to put in your online dating profile that you're just looking to hook up or friends or benefits? Yes, you can do that. But on what I tell you guys is you have to word it differently and go to badboymembership.com to get the program, how to take pictures that'll get you later online dating sites and the advanced online game where I teach you how to word this to make it pop, stand out, and more colorful. Because if you just say, I want to hook up, or I'm looking for friends or benefits, you're blending in with every other guy. And then that she sees that, and that even if she was maybe interested or whatever, right? There's certain times where she'll fuck with it, but in a lot of times it's like just the fact that she sees those words, it's like, oh, hook up? No, I'm good. I'm not trying to hook up. I'm all that stupid shit. So I have a family-owned ice cream shop right across the street from my apartment. I go for my first date. Is it best to let her know my place is across the street to set up the sex, or does it matter? Yeah, you could tell her, like I said, like if you go into that ice cream store and you still trying to make shit happen, or you trying to set it up, hey, listen, there's an ice cream shop, next to my spot, and we'll go over there, kick it, and then if the vibe is right, I'll take you back to my place and we'll have some fun. But remember, if you're meeting a chick on an online site, make sure that your bio and profile is set up to where that type of shit is letting her know what the deal is. So can you make a Bad Boy Member video on how your body language affects your results with women and how to improve your nonverbal cues? I feel that I lack in that department. Yeah, I could probably do that at some point. I'm gonna have to get like a model or something to demonstrate and all that other shit. But I'll definitely get to that at some point. This says, when are y'all gonna put monogamous on the panel? I don't know. Monogamous gotta maybe when monogamous is ready, or he's like he quits his job. He's like, I'm gonna do game full time. It says, does a break mean break up? In most cases, yes, because if you go on a break and the chick, she meets other dude, and the other dude she likes him better than you, it's a fucking wrap for your ass. So I would say if a chick is saying we on a break, nope, ain't no breaks. Either we together, we not. You feel me? But guys, that's pretty much it. I gotta head up out of here. Remember, guys, go to badboymembership.com, masculineidentitymembership.com, and I will holler at y'all later. And remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. I'm out.
We're here to define what a man is, right?
Responsibility creates struggle. Struggle creates strength. And strength creates structure.
How many people care about what people think about them? Be honest.
As a man, you got to be able to protect not just yourself, but your family.
When we talk about being a man, it's your behaviors.
But I don't say any of this to brag. I don't say any of this to gloat my life up or I'm better than anybody.
I start crying. I'm like, why am I crying? And so what I realized was,
You put yourself in a target-rich environment. You are the only woman that paid for a ticket to come to this event.
If you're trying to teach your daughter to be around a certain man and you're not that man yourself, she gonna choose you.
Hey, let me not touch this nigga. He too clean. Where is that on you?
It's not on me.
It's not on you. The only reason why it's not on you is because you didn't choose it.
Find the women who can actually help you build. And here's some deep game for you. You don't have to have sex with all of them.
Since 2016, I've been following Lucario and Miles. Y'all changed my life. Followed by Uncle Ram. So ever since then, I've been getting a little bit of too much ass at times.
As a man, there's a balance to it. Your purpose and pussy. And the heavier your purpose,
even if you lose the relationship, you don't lose yourself. And that's the most important part.
Yeah.